and it's called Dream Job USA. When a friend was working as an editor for a company that published travel guides, I asked him to put in several good words for me in an open display of "It's not what you know, it's who you know." As a result, I landed the undeserved chance to work on the USA guidebook ahead of a multitude of people who are surely far more qualified and experienced. But as a rookie in the book's writer-researcher-updater team, I was saddled with the assignment no one wanted: the Great Plains, including North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Iowa, and Missouri. All those people who voted for Trump. Not in there. I was convinced, though, that this could be the dream job for a traveller, so I set off with a printout of the guidebook section under my arm and a grin on my face. It turned into a nightmare fast. Day 1, Montreal, Canada to St. Louis, Missouri. The year is 1999, and this is how the trip began. Hairy flight from Montreal to Newark, then an even hairier one from Newark to St. Louis. The windy autumn weather makes it seriously white-knuckle stuff. They have tornadoes out here, don't they? I arrive in one piece, but my backpack doesn't arrive at all. I'm told it will follow me, delivered to my digs at the Embassy Suites the following day, or the next. Not a good start. Off to the rental car company to pick up my ride. It turns out the big-name guidebooks company has reserved me the cheapest car possible in dull white with a radio. Gone are my visions of cruising the interstates and the Great Plains with the top down of some whale of an American car, something with steer horns on the front. Instead, it's all aboard the Chevrolet lawnmower. I muscle the car out onto the freeway to join the grizzled fray heading towards downtown St. Louis, the skyline of which is tinged a hazy yellow. Every exit says St. Louis. I have no idea which exit to take and rue my lack of preparation. No, strike that. I'm actually very prepared, but all the necessary documents, information, and maps are in my backpack, which is probably still spinning around the carousel at Newark, or God knows where. But it's Sunday, and downtown St. Louis, which like most American cities functions primarily as a place to work, is deserted. I negotiate the vacant streets, cutting across lanes and executing a couple of ambitious U-turns and asking a homeless man for directions until I pull into the Embassy Suites car park. A confession: I'm not being shy about throwing around the big-name guidebooks company's big name. This is because said company pays a pittance for several months of work, leaving the writer-researcher to get enterprising and try to save money by scoring stuff for free. As much stuff as possible, starting with a couple of free nights at the swanky Embassy Suites. The receptionists are all smiles. I'm introduced to everyone in the back offices and get a bundle of marketing-type papers. I'm advised to partake of happy hour in the lobby bar from 5 to 7 with snacks. Upstairs, there's a big welcome basket in my suite full of fruit, chocolates and wine. There's also a bag with some Cardinals merchandise, including a t-shirt, cap, key ring and several pens. No Cardinals underwear, but at least I've got a clean shirt to wear tomorrow, one that might even help me blend in. I'm keen to get started and to do a good job. I had a full afternoon planned, visiting several museums and hotels, but all the documents and printouts are in my backpack. So, unable to start the work, I wander St. Louis, taking in the Gateway Arch and meandering along the poo-brown Mississippi River. There are several floating casinos, awash in flashing lights, despite it being mid-afternoon. Not many people about, save a few tourists at the Arch. I give up exploring in favour of the pursuit of happiness in the lobby bar. Happy hour turns out to be seriously happy, with free cocktails and beer and chips, nuts and pretzels by the bucket load. The lobby bar is in an atrium replete with fake trees and bubbling pond. Every voice echoes. I'm surrounded by businessmen who have dressed down for Sunday, no ties, collars open. It appears the hotel is hosting some kind of conference, as these guys are all wearing name tags and congregating in groups. There's something greasy about their exchanges and something nasty about the way they gesture with their glasses in the general direction of the one waitress. I'm not really much better. A transient drinking free booze, in town for business reasons, a salesman of sorts, just without a coterie of similar writer researchers in tow. I put away 3 bourbon and cokes, 2 tequila and grapefruits, and 1 vodka and cranberry. I toast my lost backpack and scarf down more chips and nuts. There's not a lot of alcohol in the drinks, but that gives more reason to have 1 more and not to feel bad about it. Close to 7 p.m, I get talking with some of the conference guys, dodging their questions about what work I'm in St. Louis for, and turning down their invitations to head out on the town and find some real fun. Don't really like the sound of that and what it might involve. Greasy, nasty fun. Not my kind of fun. Better to go upstairs and sleep off the bourbon, tequila and vodka, as tomorrow looms as a big day. I've got just 1 day to cover the whole section on St. Louis. Day 2, St. Louis. It's at 7:30 a.m. I'm woken by a knock on the door. My backpack, hand-delivered by a porter who refuses any tip. A half hour later, I'm walking the streets of St. Louis. I start at the visitors centre where I nab every brochure and pamphlet on offer. Then it's a blur of museums, galleries, bars, restaurants, hotels and cafes. I also spend an hour on the phone at the Embassy Suites chasing information and updates. I miss happy hour. I miss dinner. I eat all the fruit in the welcome basket and fall asleep before 9 p.m. It has begun. Day 3, St. Louis, Missouri to Iowa City, Iowa. Long drive, with half a dozen stops along the way at towns and sites listed in the book. I have lunch in Hannibal, the birthplace of Mark Twain, but I'm in no mood to contemplate his writings or to savour the apple pie I order for dessert and wax lyrical about how it tastes of everything that's right about America. Because I've got listings to go through, phone numbers to check, motel prices to update, opening hours to confirm. A single page in the guidebook is utterly overwhelming in terms of the amount of information to change, confirm, and remove. And I've still got about 150 miles to go to reach Iowa City. And ahead of me are a couple of weeks filled with days exactly like this one. Pages and pages and pages of information. What the hell have I got myself into? There's not much to look at in Iowa, from the interstate at least. And cornfields and trucks and more cornfields. Oh look, a cornfield. I spend 6 hours behind the wheel of the Chevrolet lawnmower. My back is very sore, as if I'd spent those 6 hours ploughing the myriad cornfields of Iowa by hand, and maybe building a baseball field in one. But Iowa City turns out to be quite a happening little college town, one with a relaxed Midwest vibe. I find a nice bar that serves soup in giant bowls made of sourdough bread. I hang around to watch a baseball game with a few college students. They give me tips of things to do in town, bars and clubs and such. I make notes, stupidly adding these places to my list of things to check tomorrow. Day 4, Iowa City, Iowa to Des Moines, Iowa. My suite has 3 bathrooms. 3. Now, what could a man possibly need 3 bathrooms for? What could a man possibly be doing in Des Moines? The manager of the Hotel Fort Des Moines has put me in the presidential suite. He explains he's a fan of the big-name guidebooks company. He reels off some of the books he has used on past trips and points out what was wrong with them. If only every hotel manager was a critic and a fan, then I could be lectured about books I didn't work on and enjoy suites with 3 bathrooms each night. The latter is how I imagined this gig to be. It hasn't been that way so far, given the tragic motel room I had last night in Iowa City. Still, I'm presidential for this night. On the way to Des Moines, I passed the Iowa State Fair. A lot of pickup trucks and animal transportation trailers, a very barnyard smell as well. When I lowered the window of the lawnmower, I kept on driving. The chapter on Des Moines is short, thankfully. The main attraction is the Skywalk, a 3-mile enclosed walkway that joins many of the buildings downtown. Once inside, it feels like being on board the Starship Enterprise, but not a new Enterprise from a recent Star Trek movie or TV show reboot, the old Enterprise, with its seriously dated version of how the future might look. The skywalk seems a little unsteady underfoot. The windows vibrate with each step. I wonder if the city of Des Moines employs people to open all the skywalk's doors by hand to give the impression of automatic doors, because there's something static and inconsistent about how the doors open, as on the old Enterprise. I give up on the skywalk in fear we might just lift off and retreat to my presidential suite, where there's a pile of pamphlets and brochures for me to go through, gathered from tourist offices and chambers of commerce between Iowa City and Des Moines. For an hour, I sit and stare at it all, feeling like I might just start weeping. Thank you. Thank you.